Hello everyone, this is Becca from Willow Hill Designs and welcome. Today I am sharing just the very beginning of the first prompt for the Roxy's Journal of Stitchery Field Notes project, and I'll just say that I absolutely love fall or autumn. It is one of my absolute favorite times of the year. My daughter and I were just saying it today that this is our favorite time of the year. So and the prompt for this was the colors of autumn, like oranges and reds and golds and all the colors that you see in autumn. So that was very nice. That kind of conjured up images of all the different things that I love in autumn and fall. So, and for those who are new subscribers, I am keeping my journal very field notish, not so much patching and cantha stitching and things like that. I'm trying to make it look like a real field note journal, only with stitching. So that's kind of the style that I'm going for with this. So this is what it looks like so far. Hopefully it looks like a field note journal with notes that are being taken near next to sketches. So this is where this page will go. There's not many pages left, really. We're almost done here. That's amazing. So this is my page. I'll just get this little design board here. This is just a piece of cardboard that I covered with batting, and it just comes in handy to keep the page from flopping around when I'm showing it. And this page I ironed on a fusible lightweight interfacing, featherweight or a lightweight, and it's nice because it gives it just a little bit more sturdiness when you're stitching so that it doesn't gather up. Although you can use a little hoop. I have a little metal hoop that I had when I was 10 years old, the one that my mom bought me when she first taught me to embroider. And I have used that on these pages. So, but the interfacing does definitely help. So some of the things that I have included on here that make me think of autumn and those colors are the rose hips are one. I love to pick the big, gorgeous rose hips that are orange and just beautiful, and you can put them in a vase and they look so pretty, or some kind of an arrangement, and they look so beautiful. So usually they're orange, but they're also red as well. So I drew a rose hip on here and just labeled it rose hip. And another one was corn, and this is Indian corn. I should have written that on here. I will do that. My grandparents grew Indian corn along with regular corn, and I have always loved it. I think it's beautiful. I always have bunches of Indian corn in the house hanging on doors and fireplaces. And this is a bunch that I keep in the house, and this has got those gorgeous reds and rusties and golds, deep kind of earthy colors for this time of year for autumn. And even the corn husks are colored, and they're just beautiful. I love these. These are expensive now. Used to get them for a couple of dollars. They're like $6 or $7 now for just this little tiny bunch, and if you want a couple, it's kind of expensive, I think, for corn. But so I will try to make this look like Indian corn here. And when I draw these on here, I draw them with a friction pen. And the wonderful thing about that is if you don't like the way it looks or it came out, you can just iron it away and then go back and do it again. And then I go right over it with my permanent pen, and it does go over the friction pen. And that way, when I go over it with the permanent pen, I can make any corrections that I'd like to and just iron the friction pen away, and it disappears, leaving the permanent. So it's kind of a nice way to do this when you're sketching things in. If you don't like the way something looks, it's nice to be able to change it. It's not permanent. So corn, the Indian corn definitely had to be on here. This is something I love. Pumpkins, another special favorite thing in the fall. Special memories. We make our annual trip to the pumpkin patch, and we pick pumpkins with the kids. And the one that we go to, they have a cannon that shoots out a pumpkin. They have a corn maze that you can wander through and almost get lost. They have giant slides that go down a hill. This slide that's built into the hill, and you just sit on a burlap bag. They have cider donuts and cider. It's just a fun trip, a family outing that we do every year. So pumpkins definitely had to be on here. Acorns, I definitely think of acorns, and those colors kind of come to mind. And the oak leaf, of course, goes with the acorns. We always had some huge oak trees in our yard at home growing up, and acorns always on the ground. We loved picking acorns. And maple, I had to put maple leaves also on here because the colors that maples turn are just absolutely gorgeous. Our daughter has a maple tree that turns a fiery orange. I mean, it's just beautiful. And we had a red maple that turned red. It wasn't a crimson, like a crimson king maple, but a red maple that turned the most gorgeous color. So that was nice. And so these are images that, for me, come to mind when I think of those colors and fall. And also I wanted the leaves on there because when we go walking in the woods, and it's quiet in the woods and you just hear the leaves crunching under your feet, it's so beautiful. And, you know, especially if the sun's shining and the air is crisp, and you can actually smell the leaves. They definitely have a beautiful smell that's in the air. And I like to scatter leaves on our tables, silk leaves, along with the flowers in the vases, and it just looks so pretty. It looks like fall in the house as well. So here I wrote maple. I think I'll probably put leaf up here, oak leaf here, acorn, and down here rose hip. And again, I think I'll put Indian corn here, pumpkin. Just trying to label these things, and then I put my initials and the date that I drew this, 10/7/24. And I included a couple of pieces of fabric with some script on it. There just wasn't much room for patching too much in, so I thought maybe a couple of little pieces would be good to include and just sort of add to it. And I did go around and kind of what I'm calling distress or ink the edges, antique them kind of. And this is a Ranger ink. It's Distress Oxide ink, and I think this color is Vintage Photo. And I just take a square brush and just touch it to the ink pad, and then tap it on around the edges of the page and on little pieces that I like to add to the pages. And I just feel like it gives a nice vintage look to the page. Kind of would like this to look like a vintage field notes journal. And this up here is just a piece of this fabric. This has a mottled green, I don't know if you can see it on there, mottled green throughout. This is the same fabric, only the reverse side, and I just stamped autumn on that. These are stitched down with just a machine weight thread, 50 weight thread. I just kind of stitch those down, kind of invisibly, kind of not. And so now it's ready to go ahead and do some stitching on it. I'm not sure exactly what I'll stitch yet and what I will use the Derwent watercolor pencils on. I'm not quite sure. I'm looking forward to starting this. I think it'll be fun. But yes, so that's where it stands right now. And I may at the very end, which this is the end, this is the end of the video, I may include some pictures, a few photos of our fall decorations and the things that inspire me, and really speak of my love of this time of the year. I think Christmas decorating is probably the next most fun time of the year to decorate the house. But fall, it's inside and outdoors as well, that I just love it. So thank you for joining me today, and I will try to add some photos at the end of our decorations that are my inspiration. And wishing you many blessings, and see you in the next video. Bye for now.